Let's get cranked up, daddy. I don't know how he sounds. How do we think Riff sounds?
Evidently, he sounds like a 55-year-old jazz musician.
Oh my God.
Hey, brother. Just keep time. I'll do the rest.
Hey, man, that's whack. You jive turkey.
Yeah, you jive turkey.
Hello, and welcome to Grass Touchers, the show where the three of us pals talk about video games, despite how little time we have for them, but it still makes for a good pod show. I am Jake.
I'm Jared.
And I am no one.
And I am Deg's baby.
Oh, little Bodie's on already?
Yeah, Bodie. This is Bodie.
They grow up so fast.
I know. I'm taking over for Dad this week.
That's right. The new voice you hear, ladies and gentlemen, is my kid brother, Samuel.
Yeah, you
Sam's
wouldn't know
joining
that
us
if you
this
saw
week.
me.
Yeah. Sam's joining us this week for a little guest spot. We're enjoying a little time away from Deg, or I should say, Deg is enjoying a little time away from us. He's got a newborn baby boy. His name is Bodie James, and it is going great, or so I hear. They are doing the thing, and we appreciate your thoughts of the Davis family as they embrace their new bundle of joy. But we're still going to have a good time over here. Sam's joining us. He and I go way back to, his birth, and we're gonna get into it. Jared, open us up. What have you been playing lately?
I have been playing Dota lately, which is, I'm sure it's a huge surprise to everybody listening. This game, it's got the hooks in me. Everyone knows that, but I'm not going to talk about Dota today. I talked about buying Total War Warhammer 3 last week, and I have been playing it, and it's been playing me. You know what I'm saying? No. It's really tough.
Is it hard?
It's hard, dude. It's really hard. I'm playing on I'm playing on normal, which is those correspond with like map difficulty and then battle difficulty. So I'm kind of just trying to not do
just
easy.
Double normal. Just try to keep it right in the middle.
I'm on double normal, and it's pretty tough. It's one of those things also where I can feel myself, like the game doesn't just like crush you. I'm playing a mode called Immortal Empires, which if you have the first two Warhammers, which I do, it's just this enormous map, and there's like every race and clan in the whole game across the whole map. It's really cool. But I can tell that as something resembling an endgame approaches, I'm gonna get. It's gonna show me. It's gonna ask me to take the pebble out of its hand, and I'm not gonna be able to do it.
Just a slow, steady build up to you getting just schwacked by all these people.
Right. Take the pebble from my grasshopper.
That's right. Dude.
Karate Kid. Awesome. The Karate Kid. Aside from that, I got in the RTS mood and I downloaded Halo Wars 2 from Game Pass on my Xbox.
Whoa, throwback.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's good. I played a lot of the first one when I was a kid, and I never actually got around to playing this one. So it's a new adventure for me, and that's fun. Aside from that, I have been braving the Tucson sun with little success. It's hard out here, and the shop that I work in does not quite have full power yet, so we do not have AC in there.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Is it at least like open and airy and you got a fan going or something? Shaded and stuff?
There's two large doors that the breeze often flows through. It's not as bad as it sounds, but it's certainly not as good as being indoors, which is one of my favorite places to be.
It's like not really indoors, like
right. So that's what's going on. Sam, how we doing? Big play.
Oh, we're doing it. Got back into Fallout 4 since I finished the show and rediscovering my college days when I first got into it. eyes completely naked. That was my very first Fallout game, actually. I only played a smidge of New Vegas, but it kept crashing on me every time I exited the doctor's hut in Good Springs.
Did you just
right?
slip in that you were naked right now? Because I'm gonna start doing that. That's a baller move. Just be like, hey Jared, how are you? What did you guys do this weekend? We went to the zoo. I'm naked, and we saw some.
Got some EGs.
Yeah, I got some EGs. Naked and sorry, keep going.
Baller indeed, quite literally.
Whoa.
Oh man.
Gonna have your
Yeah,
work
we're gonna
cut out
go
for you
there.
editing this bad.
And play a little DRG. That's got a new season coming up. Deep Rock Galactic.
That's right, for the uninitiated. That stands for Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah, Rock and Stone, y'all. I'm one of those guys, unfortunately. I apologize in advance, but I'm not sorry.
It's a vibrant scene. It's that game's got a player base for real. It hadn't really gone away. Jared actually tried to get me into it once upon a time on Xbox. I think we gave that a spin when we were desperately trying to get the Apex Legends monkey off of our back. I think we were like, dude, we got to play something. And you were like, let's play Deep Rock. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Try anything.
Yeah, the game design of that is so tight and just works so well. It makes Todd Howard sweat a little bit in terms of like how well it works. And I don't really have a main among the 4 classes. I kind of keep them all as balanced as I can, so that way I can keep up the promotions and gear up to speed.
Oh, you sort of cycle through them and level them all up.
Yeah, so there's a scout, there's an engineer, a gunner, and I think it was demolitions expert. Something like that, a flamer, or
I vaguely remember something like that.
Yeah, something like that title. And it's just a whole lot of fun. It's one of those games. It's a PvE also. There's no players against players, and it really it's amazing how well it encourages you to work together like a team.
Right.
And play nice. And I don't know, it's just so baller. And
sounds like a Barney game, dude. Sounds like for babies. I'll never.
Hey, you jest, but that probably would have sold like hotcakes back in the day.
Barney Deep Rock Galactic.
Absolutely, dude. There will be a skin. There will be a skin.
When Barney was all the rage for the children's, I was a Barney kid. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, me too.
In the early '90s. Oh yeah, big time Barney kid. Can you imagine like what is that? Early PS1 SNES graphics or something, like trying to play some sort of mining game with Barney.
Who was your favorite character on Barney, though? Because that tells you a lot about the kind of kid that you were. If it, like Barney, Baby Bop, or BJ, who was your favorite character?
I'm gonna have to Google BJ real quick.
Yeah, he's the yellow one.
Don't do that. You don't.
Very hip hop, dude. He's a hip hop style dinosaur.
You guys, I just Googled Barney BJ.
No,
no, Jacob, why'd you do that? Show me. Where'd you get it?
BJ's a doofus. Do not care about BJ. Who's this little orange fella?
The sideways hat.
The sideways hat is pretty radical.
It's kind of awesome, dude. I looked up BJ Barney, and there's the little person that I think presumably was in the suit.
How about Riff, dude?
There's a character named Riff. Oh, let me see this.
Dude.
I have to say,
whoa, this is a new character, dude. This was not in our era.
Oh, is that right?
Oh no, Retcons.
Dude, what is Riff about? What's Riff's thing, dude?
His catchphrases include "Wowzer" and "It's totally tippity top," and
that's pretty
cool-o-rama and "Later skaters."
Oh man, I want to change my favorite character right
Pretty
now.
sure that would be the one, but I don't remember it. Shoot. Wow, we really just talked about Barney and Friends.
Dang,
anyways,
dude. I was more of a fan of Joe, though.
Joe
Mama.
No, dude, I got not you. On the pod,
dude. That
not
was
on
a
the
very
pod.
Riff style burn that I just got on you. That's something,
dude. That burn,
wowie zowie,
was cool-o-rama, dude.
That's cool-o-rama, bro.
Anything else you've been playing, Sam?
Let's see. There's a bit of PUBG with you guys once in a while, when the schedule permits, and I've been getting somewhat good, at least in casual. I have to say it's a huge difference between PC and console, because me and my wife, we used to play on Xbox, and sometimes we'd have like a couch co-op session, like I take a turn, she take a turn, and see how far we get around.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, we also did that back in the cabin back in the day, when your wife's sister came over and she was trying to test it out what it was like on the big screen.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and that actually helped out a bit, because someone like backseat gaming could see someone else off in the distance that you couldn't see while you're running straight
on this
stuff.
giant screen. Jared, I know you never got to see it, but the big house that we used to have out in the country, my folks, we had like an 88 stupid, huge Sony screen in the downstairs, and we
God's
had
window.
surround sound speakers wired into the walls, like, you know, totally slick, can't see it. Subwoofer tucked into a cabinet with mesh in front of it, so you didn't even know the sub was there.
Nice.
We had like a audio receiver running everything. Had like a little media closet. It was pretty sick.
That's awesome.
And gaming down there, that was pretty sweet.
It sounds like
Pretty
it.
freaking sweet. And,
Watching Barney
so-
down there.
Yeah, dude.
That's
Nuts.
Barney. That's Barney the way it was meant to be enjoyed.
In 4K.
Yeah, dude. In the Best Buy Magnolia section.
in your parents' basement in your
Right.
30s. Oh yeah.
And you're just like, you're just down there, just like, yeah,
Vibing.
yeah,
Cracking a
I'm
beer.
an adult.
Yeah.
I'm an adult.
No big deal.
I do want to do that, dude. I want to see what. That's something that I want to experience. Just like watch an entire episode of Barney, but just like literally just kind of sit there and watch it like it's a professional like sporting event. Just be like,
Oh, did you guys see that? That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. That was real heads up acting.
they say clean up, everybody do their share, and I actually agree with that. Makes things move along a lot faster. I don't know. Anybody want to weigh in?
Try to find a way to make it like some sort of political argument while you're watching
Yeah.
Barney.
Oh God.
Just like
Do
smearing.
your share. What kind of socialist?
What is
horseshit?
this? This is some immigrant stuff. Don't tell me to do my share. Riff.
Tucker Carlson busts through the door. What are you guys doing?
Oh me.
Ridiculous.
Dang, dude. Okay.
Well, for me, it's been PUBG with the fellas. It's been not that much Star Citizen because of the things I mentioned in the last episode. Things are still, on the glitchy side. Although I should probably get back in there because the free fly event's good and over now. I've been trying to find my next Steam Deck obsession, and I know that there's like a ton of options, but honestly, it makes it harder because there's so many like things that are great on deck, and I'm like, oh, I could do this. I don't really want to buy any new games. I have in my current library like 30 of them are green check, like great on deck or whatever. What I really want is something that is like a single player campaign, but also not deep, right? Like I could be playing Baldur's Gate on the Steam Deck, but that takes like brain power and memory power, and I have to like make choices, and like, yeah, you could play that game like, you don't care, I guess, but it's not how I want to play that game.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to find, what I really want to play on the Steam Deck that is not supported yet. It's Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Because those games are so fun. And I'm thinking like console, like, twin stick sort of shoot 'em up, like that would be radical. And the first one that is not in my library, I have Rainbow Six Vegas 2 in my library. The first one is like yellow check, like, hey, this kind of doesn't work, or but anyway, I've been searching around for that. I actually put Rocket League on there. We'll see if that's anything. I haven't actually run it yet. I just downloaded it. I used to love Rocket League. I played freaking mouse and keyboard on PC, and I got kind of good with mouse and keyboard. I got up to like platinum.
Wow.
In the rank thing. I don't know if the ranking system has like changed since then. This was, 3-4 years ago. But yeah, we'll give that a shot.
Nice.
See what I land on. So typical, giant backlog. Can't make up my mind.
I
play some
know.
game I've already played 1,000 times. You know?
We need to make a pact to break each other's legs. Be like, I don't know what happened.
Yes.
We and Jake rented one of those hang gliders, and we just like snap both of our legs, and then we could just sit on the couch and play our backlog.
Babe, I'm sorry. We went on that trip, that boys' weekend. It was
Right.
supposed to be no big deal, but then we skydived, and I forgot that I
The
didn't
parachute.
pull and I just
Yeah.
You like, because you can only do a tandem jump if you've never done it. I would
Right.
have to be doing a tandem. You like slip the guy a couple extra dollars, like, hey, make
The
the
baby
landing,
Bjorn
like,
jump?
hella rough.
Right, yeah. Just blow us up
Nor-
right now, dude.
Normally, people pay me to do an extra good job. You're paying me to do a bad job? Yes, I am. I am. It's true. I am.
Just bring a pair of
man, I'd
scissors
do
on
it
the
for
Calamity.
free.
You got to see my backlog, dog. I got to have these broken legs, like stat. I got to do it. And then on a personal note, and some real life news, I had a little disc golf, a grass touching moment. I played some disc golf last weekend with some pals, and I had. Remember I talked about Trash Panda, this disc golf manufacturer
Yep.
that makes a super cool putter that's in the color of it is like Baja Blast or whatever.
Yeah.
I hit a shot with the mid-range that they make. I threw it in the basket from 140 feet away. It was
Whoa.
nutty. It was like, if this was from the tee pad, it would be a hole-in-one. Like, it was really far, and I didn't think it was going in. It was on hole 18, so it was my last shot of the day. I was trying to throw an approach shot and, like, kind of nestle in at the bottom of the basket, but I hadn't thrown that disc very much yet, and so it floated, and it floated really well. And so my angle and everything was great, but it was just really floaty, and it freaking went in the basket. And I was like,
Wow.
it was my only birdie of the day. I was like, all right,
man.
hey, done and
Super
dusted.
sick,
Let's
dude.
go home. I'm done. That's great. Oh, what's that? You guys are still putting? Oh, my bad. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I'm done over here.
Yeah. So I had some grass touch. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Oh, and I sold on my dad's. Me and Sam got a little payday. Finally sold my dad's motorcycle that had been sitting in my garage. So that was a real life
Nice.
W. Taking the
Cha-ching.
W on that one.
Which was
Yeah.
actually an L because that was probably our only hope of actually breaking our legs.
Well,
Oh,
fear
damn.
not. I have a two-wheeled vehicle coming my way that I'll share more about later.
So there's hope.
But that's right. There's plenty of hope. I'm like, oh, honey, I took a bad spill. I think
Yeah.
I might need to sit on the couch for
Me,
about
Sam, and Jared all took
10
the bike
days.
out. We went threesies on a bike.
Honey, it's only meant for one person.
Yeah.
No, I know.
know,
But yeah, I saw this video and we just thought,
It's fine print. That's just stuff they tell you so that you don't sue them. You know, it's fine.
yeah. Well, boys, I appreciate sharing what's going on lately. The next thing on the docket here, we got to talk about it. I kind of wish Greg was here so that he could share his thoughts. I'm sure he'll share it at some point when he returns. We got to get into Star Wars Acolyte, the latest
do we?
Disney Plus offering. I know Jared is ready to
I'm going back to
the barrel in
Warhammer.
his mouth
Yeah.
right now. He's just going to pull out the Steam Deck right now. But I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. I really am.
You're good.
Because I don't have that much to say, because so much remains to be seen as to whether the show is going to be any good. I am not taking a hardline stance one way or the other. But I just want to let the audience know that if you haven't made up your mind about Star Wars and you still kind of check in, I would say this is one that is not it's not totally off-putting, and you should probably check it out if you have even just the littlest bit of love for Star Wars in your heart remaining. Give it a shot. It's kind of cool. It's kind of lame. Like I said, we'll see where it goes. The main complaint to me is like the characters are just so inconsistent. I'm not sure if they meant to, but there's a couple characters that are way more engaging to sort of like listen to, and they're not necessarily the main characters. And then there's other characters that are like, why did he say that line just now? That's so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this going on? It's like the classic sort of Star Wars quips that are like not necessary, taking up 30 seconds of screen time for no good reason. Like, why is this? At one point, there's this guy who's like a goody two-shoes rule follower, sort of Jedi legalist. He's a knight. And the master guy brings his apprentice along on this side quest adventure thing they're doing. And the apprentice is this chick who's like absolute Poindexter material, totally square. And they walk in, and homeboy has his shirt off, and they walk in because he's getting like, are you ironing your shirt? Is this the first thing? Is this the
In
first time
space?
we've seen a Jedi use an iron in space, like with space iron? And so he's like getting dressed and his shirt's off. Of course, he's like ripped, and he sort of stands up like, oh, geez, as if the male torso is this big deal. Yeah,
right.
As he's holding the iron. That would hurt.
Well, he's sort of like panicking. And then the chick is like, there's this pause, and she's like, "Put your shirt on."
Cool, dude. On.
And it's like, nice,
just
nice. That's great.
Well,
never
did
getting
he?
that minute of my life back. Yeah, he did. It was stupid, but I think the there's a couple characters that I think are absolutely rad. One of the main characters that is worth their screen time, Master Soul. Played by, I should have been more prepared.
Played by John C. Reilly from
Lee Jung Jae is his name.
Same guy.
He was in Squid Game. That's what it is.
Oh, of course.
He's super great. He has some serious like Bruce Lee unarmed combat like freaking moments that are very rad.
But not Chuck Norris style. Like very Bruce Lee style.
Well, can't really compete with that.
Correct. That's right. There's these moments where there are no lightsabers out. There's this crux of the show that explains that I won't like spoil, I guess. And so there's just like freaking kung fu in this show, and it's actually really rad. And that's executed at a pretty high level. This is not really a spoiler because it's in the first episode, so like get over it. There's another character who I thought would be insufferable, who's actually really great. Dies in the first episode.
Cool.
They're just dead the rest of the show, I guess.
Nice.
So that's cool. I had high hopes all of a sudden. I was like, hey, that character, like this is interesting. What is this? And she's just going to be dead the whole time, And she was billed as like I thought a main character.
Don't worry,
Jake.
no
one.
No one's gone. Really right. Gone. Just wait for the tweets to roll in. For people to be like, "What the heck?" And then season 2, a hand comes shooting out of the ground.
That's right.
And it's hers.
No one's ever really gone.
One thing that I definitely won't spoil because I really want our listeners to chime in and I want you guys to chime in on this. Sam, did you watch this yet? I know I mentioned it to you. Did you watch it at all yet?
Star Wars Acolyte? No, I did not have the time, unfortunately.
Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. Just curious. The whole plot relies on this one trope, this one device. And it's so, like, basement level IQ stupid. It really bothers me that they are using this to tell the story. Okay? Here's what I'll do. Sam, do you care if I tell you?
By all means.
Okay. Hey, folks. If you don't want to hear all the Star Wars talk, including spoilers for Acolyte Episode 1 and 2, skip to the 28-minute mark. There's this problem that they're trying to solve, which is the identity of this killer. Someone is going around and killing Jedi, and they're trying to figure out who and how and why and like what the heck's going on. And this person matches the description of this disgraced, well, I don't know if she's disgraced or not, but somebody that was a Jedi Padawan and then left the Jedi Academy because she wasn't a good fit. Matches the description perfectly. So of course you're thinking, okay, maybe she's gone rogue. It really is her. She just has a twin. She has a twin sister.
Oh my god.
That's tired.
There's just another one, and everyone's like, "It's her! I know it was her."
Wait, Sam, did you say it's hot?
A little.
So they go on this like whole adventure, and they belabor the point for so long. And there's this dramatic irony of like some people know that there's a twin sister. Some people thought that twin sister was dead. But the people that know are like, oh, yeah, she has a twin sister, you guys. Like, did you not know that?
Oh, my gosh.
And then there's these other characters that are like, who could it be?
Right. Their minds are breaking.
Jesus.
And then the shirtless guy from earlier, he's like, okay, so just because she has a twin sister doesn't mean it's the twin sister. Okay, let's say for a second, hypothetically, that it was the twin sister. How do you explain? And it's like, that was a wasted scene too, because he's wrong, and it is the twin. Well, you just, God dang it! Like,
Bro,
it's a really stupid plot device. It's really stupid.
This is my issue. This is my issue with this kind of stuff, with like Star Wars becoming too. The scope keeps getting widened to the point that it becomes a universe, and it's so annoying because now we're seeing literally what this sounds like to me is a Star Wars procedural. Like procedural cop show almost, but Star Wars, and it's like we talked about last week. It's how they just keep smashing things together to create permutations of things that technically haven't been done yet, but are very, very tired.
Yes.
It's insane that this exists. They're just like they're like Law and Order, but Star Wars. And people are just like, exactly. I'm gonna watch it, which is cool. It's fine. I know you watch it because you love Star Wars. If it was a franchise that I like adored, I would watch it even if I was pretty sure it was gonna be gay.
Right.
But it's just amazing.
And I have this odd sense of like responsibility because of our tens of listeners. I'm like, well, I gotta watch it so I can talk about it on the pod. This will be a layup. I gotta talk about Star Wars. And so it's like, it's this whole thing that I'm going to. It's not so poorly done as to turn me off immediately. So, like, whatever. I'll give it a shot. But, yeah, like you said, this whole idea of a universe, as with a lot of large franchises, what I'm starting to wonder is, like, what are they setting up? Who's the main bad guy? You know, the main problem. I saw an article that said something to this effect, and I really agreed with it. One of the big problems that Star Wars has is that the villains are just, like, vanilla. Just bad guys. Right. And it's like, why are the Sith who they are, and why do they do the things that they do? Power, bad, red. They have red lightsabers. They're bad. They're bad guys. Because there's red. They're bad guys. Yeah. You know? And sometimes they even have horns because they're bad. You know? It's like, And it's like, there's no, like, interesting, there's no tension of, like, when someone turns to the, Anakin, for crying out loud, and you turned her against me. Right. You know, there's never been a moment in Star Wars. Yeah, there's never been a moment in Star Wars where you were like, "Ooh, that Sith has an interesting backstory." You know, like there's there's just like bad guys. And so, in the second episode, they don't reveal the bad guy. They see that you see like a silhouette, and he seems to be communicating in sort of a telepathic fashion. And so they're really, again, belaboring the point. Like, what's the reveal? I don't know if it's going to be some guy. It's honestly, they can't win because Star Wars is the smallest, huge universe ever. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You got to have Jedi. You got to have Sith. You got to have lightsabers. You got to have stormtroopers. You got to have this. You got to have that. And I wonder what they're setting up. If it's a bad guy you already know, that's lazy. If it's a new bad guy that sucks, that sucks. Right. And so it's got to be pretty special for me to like care at all. And I can't say I like capital C care yet, But anyway, I'm watching it. It's Star Wars. What am I gonna do?
I know.
What am I gonna do?
But
they got me by the bulls.
Barney has more depth in this. That's all I'm saying, dude.
Dude, you might be right.
The lore?
That s'mores episode where they go camping, dude. I remember watching that on VHS more times than I care to admit.
When Riff was like...
The bear costume scared the shit out of me.
When Riff is like, you guys want to light up a doobie and skateboard into the sunset?
Yeah. You guys ever tried fentanyl? Wowie! Let's get cranked up, daddy. I don't know how he sounds. How do we think Riff sounds?
Evidently, he sounds like a 55-year-old jazz musician.
Oh my God.
Hey, brother. Just keep time. I'll do the rest.
Hey, man, that's whack. You jive turkey.
Yeah, you jive turkey. Barney, you traveling jive turkey, mother.
Riff, what's your problem?
You can't keep time, Barney.
I almost called him Barbie.
Was Barney voiced by Jerry Seinfeld? Is that what I just heard?
What's your problem? I'm doing my best up here. Everybody here is on fentanyl. I'm the only one on page. Are you kidding me? You call this jazz?
I love you. Well, hey, speaking of TV shows, Sam, you checked that Fallout show, right? What'd you think of that? And since you said you're playing Fallout lately, let's hear the Fallout takes from Samuoli here.
All right. Well, I'm not by any means an expert. Like I said, 4 was my very first introduction to the Fallout universe proper. I dabbled a little bit.
Did you not play 3?
No, it wasn't optimized for Windows 7, unfortunately. And New Vegas.
That's surprising. Well, I just remember I had it on the Xbox, and I guess I just assumed you would have played it. But that's interesting.
You didn't let me have a turn because you were on it.
No, that's fair. I remember that summer between semesters of college, I was like in the basement constantly playing Fallout.
The older brother's prerogative.
That's right, dude.
And I tried a smidge of New Vegas on my own computer, but it consistently crashed every time I made a new character, so I just gave up on that. Even though I've heard that's like the holy grail of all video games of all time, evidently, which is great, but I can't play it just because it won't let me.
And honestly, dude, it doesn't really hold up today. I put it on my Steam Deck and I was like, this looks horrible. I don't think this is it. You know?
Yeah, and we tried it on the virtual console on the Xbox One when we were still at the apartment and updated in all of its HD glory on our flat screen. It just 2009 did not look good.
Well, those textures aren't going to come through in the 4K or whatever sort of upscaling. You know, it's not like it's going to change the textures. They're still going to be, unless it's been remastered.
New Vegas?
New Vegas.
New Vegas looked like donkey the day it released. I remember that. It was a fun game. I loved that game, but it looked awful.
It wasn't even good looking at the time.
Not even
let alone
sort
today.
of. It was hideous.
It's either like you're not drinking enough water piss yellow or maybe a little more of that but with some blood. And
the color scheme super flat.
But and 4 was actually had some color and design to it, which is what I really liked. And just exploring, like, oh man, what the hell happened after the bombs fell, and just whole backstory and lore of what all happened. And the TV show definitely re-sparked my imagination and love for it, just like to see what could happen.
Yeah. And dude, same here. I watched the show and I immediately put New Vegas on my Steam Deck. I regretted it and it sucked, but that show did a great job of capturing the game in a way that wasn't stupid, sort of like, fastball right over the plate at the gamers. But there were so many references to the visual aspects of the game that I was like, oh man, remember Fallout?
And I've looked back at some scenes, and there's a good healthy dose of Easter eggs from past games and such, even back to the very first one in the 90s that I also tried. And I couldn't really get with it. It's a little too old school. It was like the very first Diablo era. Like, making your character sheet was like doing your taxes.
Yeah. No thanks, dude.
Yeah, and 4 just had scratched a very needed itch that I don't think 3 and New Vegas could really do for me. And most people don't really like the settlement building system, but personally, I like it because you get to build your own fort in an apocalypse. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Turrets,
if you're a base building kind of guy, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, I'm also one of the freaks in school that enjoyed Minecraft a little too much when he was young, and I also collected a lot of Legos when I was young. So
it's true, ladies and gentlemen. I can vouch for it. I went with Sam to his room to clear out the Legos one day, and it was pretty bonkers. It was sick, to be clear, because I also love Legos. Lego, because the plural of Lego is Lego. But yeah, big Lego heads over here, me and Sam even more so. And I could see that coming. If you told me 20 years ago my brother's going to grow up and love crafting games where you get to build stuff, I'd be like, yeah, he is. Duh. Like, that checks out, because that's you all day. And I'm glad for that, because somebody's got to do it. You know what I'm saying? I can't really get behind base building in most games myself, but yeah.
Yeah. And I have an unhealthy amount of hours on that game. Granted, like, 3/4 of it were modded and everything, and it is a
you're
lot of
mod guy.
it is a lot of it. It is so much fun with mods. I can't deny. But
so real quick, in like one paragraph, tell me the mods that you put in and why they enhance your experience. Because I have never been a mods guy, like ever.
all right. Well, there's some general splice of life fixes, like certain remodeling of textures and certain objects, and
Okay. So just graphical fidelity, like making it look better.
yeah, and some patches through some quest lines. So like, there's no NPCs glitching through the walls or floors or whatnot.
Just fixes the game.
And there's a
Yeah. See, it's like
Makes it playable.
yeah. And also adding new weaponry and animations specifically for existing weapons or skins or things like that, just to give it a little more flair and finesse.
interesting. Okay.
And alternate ammunitions or munitions or explosives is very, very nice. Mm-hmm. And there's even one where I got that completely revamped and redesigned the perk tree of the entire game. And that was interesting.
Okay.
So it was like playing a brand new game for pretty much free, which
Right. I
can't
will
argue.
say that if there was a game that that reminds me of this even more so than Fallout, it'd be Cyberpunk. Skill trees, where like you do 5% more headshot damage with silenced pistols. It's like, cool. What a waste of a skill point. Like, that's stupid. Like, I'm not interested in
I have
that.
to level up 9 more times to see any kind of actual effect on this.
Yeah, and
Right.
you do that in service of the thing at the top of that part of the tree, which is something
Right.
cool. Like,
Right.
I have to grind out all these really, really, really dumb skills so that I can get one cool thing and
changes the
waste.
game.
Like, it's so disrespectful of the player's time. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's really, really whack. And Cyberpunk had that problem. That's why when I played Skyrim most recently on the Steam Deck for a few hours, I just did a meathead retard ogre. Might as well have named him Shrek. That was like 2-handed weapons. I picked stamina every level. Don't need health when I can one-shot you, dog. Like,
Right.
it was, really fun. Jared, what's your take on Fallout? I'm interested. Let's hear it.
By the time Fallout 4 came out, I was Fallouted out. I
Okay.
had just played so much of New Vegas and 3 that the core game loop was just kind of tired to me. And it's so weird because I for so long I was like a Bethesda stan. Like, I loved Oblivion. I played a ton of Morrowind. I played way too much Oblivion. I loved them, and I was like,
Word.
these guys are the best. Their games are the best.
Right.
And then they just kind of stopped. They just started coasting and going,
Yeah.
hey, we're Bethesda, open world RPG. That's our thing, and we'll take it from here. We're gonna do our thing. And it's like,
Right.
they just stopped. They kind of just stopped innovating, and they basically just said, we're gonna make the same games we've always made,
Yep.
but we're going to try and incorporate the elements of like what modern gaming says you have to have in your game. And
Right.
and my biggest gripe, and that definitely overlaps into Starfield. I played I played like 2 hours of that game on my Xbox Series X, which it's a $500 machine. It's not a $2,000 gaming PC.
Right.
But it should have run at something better than 30 FPS. I'm just going to say that turned me off.
No doubt.
Huge.
No doubt.
And just they're like, it's open world and you can do, and it's like, but why? Why do I care? There's not even a robust experience here. It's the same experience you've been delivering since Oblivion, which was a great game in its time. But like, the main issue that I had with Fallout 4 was the base building thing, because I got to that point in the game and I was like, wow, I can do anything. I can make a base, and how cool is that? But then I just kept playing the game and I'm like, there's no incentive for me to build like a single base.
Yes.
There was nothing behind it. There was no weight behind it for me personally that I was like, I want to build like, because there's there's bones there for like a really fun experience. Like, you build a chain of settlements and there's there's raiding parties and there's trading between and there's things like that, but there was never actually anything fleshed out for me there. And the only game that I will ever say I really condone mods for and really enjoy mods on is RimWorld. So Sam, I get the mod thing for sure. That's the only thing that would probably get me to enjoy Fallout 4 at this point.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I just remembered there was one game that I used mods on. Sam, do you remember Freelancer?
That rings a bell, I believe so.
Back in the day? Yeah. It was, there was a time where Ben O'Dowd visited, and I turned him on to Freelancer. I was like, dude, check out this game we've been playing. And we played it for like 3 days straight. There was a mod that you could download that just reskinned all the ships in Freelancer was a space combat game.
Oh, okay.
Really great single-player experience. Dramatically changed my interpretation of, like, that was, for me, it was one of the first open world games I played that was like, this is a single player experience in an open world, and there's this whole galaxy of like planets to go to and all that stuff.
Nice.
Sounds
and
familiar.
you can upgrade ships. There was an in-game economy, Jared. And,
I love it.
And so you could like buy, sell, trade, kill, destroy, bounty hunt, everything. And the story was not nothing. But there was a mod that you could download that would just reskin all the ships to be Star Wars ships.
Nice.
It's like, hey, all right, X-Wing, yeah, you know.
Well, you had them until
you
you said Star Wars.
That's right, bringing it back to Star Wars. Sorry. But they in that mod they even went so far as to do like the B-wing and the Imperial shuttle and like all these little cargo ships and like stuff that was from a Star Wars movie but wasn't an X-wing. There was other stuff too.
They have the slave on there, the redacted.
They did, yeah. Yes, that's right. The canceled one.
Such a sick name for a ship. I can't believe they took that away. It's like a cool name.
My kid's going to ask me, Dad, what was the name of that ship that Boba Fett flew? And I was like, son, that was the Slave 2. And he was like, the what?
The huh? I can't even believe what I'm hearing right now.
I can't believe I didn't know my dad was such a racist. Yeah, mods are funny. One of the reasons I have a bad taste in my mouth for mods is I feel like there's all these people in my life that say like, oh yeah, the version of the game I play unrecognizable from the game you play. Like mods are some kind of secret. Like you went to Steam, you went to Workshop, and you click download. You went down the list and you got all of them. Not to mention in a game like Skyrim, you can hit the command line thingy and just like spawn a bunch of items. Like, you're not clever. Like, if you make mods, that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
You know, like especially people that like radically improve performance. I think that's a very thankless just like thing. I know some mods you can like donate to the creators or whatever. But, hey again, folks. It was at this point that we realized Audacity had failed us and we lost part of the podcast. So just FYI, we're going to pick up where we had started a conversation about games that have a really good end game, where there's still stuff to do after the story wraps up. And I brought up the example of Mercenaries 2. I remember in Mercenaries, even when you had wrapped up something at a certain point, there was still something to do because of that faction thing. It was so radical that, especially in Mercenaries 2, you got all these airstrikes you could call in, and like it was doing the Helldivers thing of like, all right, coming in hot, you know, you could get all these big bombs and stuff. Oh my gosh, what a radical game, dude!
Yeah, when I was a kid, that game really excited me because any game that, even in part, purported to be Grand Theft Auto, I was like, because I was not allowed to play Grand Theft Auto, not even sort of. Sure. And I didn't have any friends that had it, but I knew I was like, I want to play the game where you can do anything. You can like steal cars and drive around.
Right.
And I remember that. It was like, oh, whoa, you can like kind of steal cars and do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. It's weird.
It was just like, if you get caught, you need to be able to shoot your way out or escape or something, you know. It was like, got out of it, you know. God, that game was rad. Well, fellas, thank you for a delightful week. Another recording session here. Sam, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed yourself. We'll have to do it again soon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to check us out on Instagram, on YouTube, at 3 Grass Touchers. We've got stuff cropping up once in a while. We'll try to record some more content, especially in short form, because YouTube seems to be succumbing to the brain rot algorithm, and YouTube Shorts are the only way to get any views anymore, unless you're going to spend $1 million on an actual documentary that's 2 hours long. So we're going to stick with 60-second clips of us either failing dramatically or winning dramatically at PUBG, probably. But anyway, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. In the meantime, don't forget to get out there and touch some